The movie starts with Vincent McKenna, an older man with many bad habits, wandering through life without much care, spending his time in dark bars. One of his main habits is gambling, which takes all his money. Daka, a pregnant woman who works at night, sometimes joins him, but she doesn't have many customers because she has specific preferences. Vincent gives her very little money for her company, which isn't enough. A serious bank manager tells Vincent his account is blocked because he owes $120 that he can't pay. He can't close the account until he pays off the debt. Later, a stern bartender talks to Vincent about his excessive drinking and refuses to let him run a tab. Even though the bar is empty, Vincent dances by himself before going home. He crashes into his fence and parks without much thought, then does ordinary things like feeding his cat. When he tries to get ice for a drink, he hurts his finger instead. Then, in a clumsy accident, he slips and hits his head on the cupboard, knocking himself out. As the sun rises, a delivery van clumsily moves near Vincent's house, accidentally breaking a branch that falls onto his car. Woken up by the noise, Vincent comes out with blood on his face. Seeing the mess, a damaged car, fence, and tree, he talks to Maggie, who recently moved to the neighborhood, about what happened. Maggie admits she hired the workers responsible and reluctantly agrees to pay for the damage, but only for the fence and tree. In the morning, Maggie takes her son to the bus stop, reminding him of what he needs for the day. She sadly tells him she can't pick him up later, so he'll have to find his own way home. When Oliver enters his new classroom at St. Patrick's School, his classmates greet him warmly. The teacher starts with the usual prayer, but Oliver tells them he's Jewish. Despite the surprise, the class accepts their different beliefs and makes everyone feel welcome. Oliver says a short prayer before sitting down, and the lesson moves on to Catholic saints. On the other hand, Vincent had bad luck at the racetrack, feeling sad because he lost a lot. A rude person took his drink and scolded him for losing, asking him to pay his debts. Vincent didn't have much money, so he talked with him and got 2 more weeks to pay. During gym class, Oliver had a hard time and the teacher looked unsure about him, asking about his past fitness. Some kids teased Oliver in the locker room and took his things, leaving him with almost nothing. He tried to go home but couldn't get in because he forgot his keys. Even trying to get in through windows and fences didn't work. Asking a neighbor for help didn't go well, as Vincent, who lives there, was not helpful. Oliver's mom, Maggie, called and suggested Oliver stay with Vincent for homework help, but Vincent wanted something in return. Maggie agreed, and Oliver's skill with Vincent's cat helped ease the tension for a while. For dinner, Vincent makes a different kind of sushi using canned sardines and hard biscuits. When Maggie comes to pick up her son, Vincent seems distant. He takes the money she gives without giving her any change. Vincent asks about Oliver's dad, but Maggie avoids the question, talking instead about their difficult relationship. They agree on a price for Vincent to look after Oliver, which includes meals. Maggie agrees, hoping it will help, despite her doubts. Back home, Maggie and Oliver talk about their strange new caregiver. Oliver thinks he's a bit grumpy, but also kind of funny. Meanwhile, at the strip club, Daka struggles with her pole routine because she's worried about money, even for basic medical care. In class, the topic of saints is discussed, with each student sharing what they know about these respected figures. Maggie, busy with work, asks Vincent to help pick up her son. Vincent reluctantly agrees and sets some rules for their trip home. But they have to stop unexpectedly, and Oliver has to use a payphone to call his mom. The payphone is dirty, with coins and cigarette butts around. While Oliver tries to make the call, some classmates led by Robert bother him. They say mean things, and Oliver hits Robert, starting a fight. Vincent steps in and stops the bullies, then helps Oliver. As they leave, Vincent asks Oliver why he fought back, wondering if his dad taught him self-defense. Oliver, while fixing his nose, says his dad was peaceful, unlike him. They arrive at a place where Vincent puts on a white coat and helps Sandy, who needs medical help on her birthday. Oliver helps tidy up while Vincent takes care of Sandy, following Vincent's instructions. Even though Anna offers to do the laundry, Vincent insists on cooking broccoli for Sandy because she likes it. Vincent tries to teach Oliver self-defense, even though Oliver isn't interested and doesn't know much about it. Vincent uses a cigarette and a drink to show Oliver what to do to protect himself. After a hard day at work, Maggie gets a surprise legal notice from her ex-husband, hinting at a tough fight for custody. When she picks up Oliver, she finds him asleep on Vincent's couch. She cries, worried about the upcoming trial. During her ultrasound appointment, Daka finds out she's having a girl, but she's worried about money. She can't use Vincent's insurance, so she takes the money he gives her, thankful for his help. When Maggie comes for Oliver, she sees him mowing Vincent's lawn. Vincent arranged it to teach Oliver about responsibility. Oliver enjoys it and learns, even though it's a bit unusual. In gym class, Robert hits Oliver with a ball, making his nose bleed. Oliver gets mad and fights back, leaving Robert knocked out. When Oliver gets home, he's excited to tell Vincent about it, but finds Daka instead. Excitedly, Oliver tells Vincent about the fight he had, and Vincent introduces Daka as a woman who works at night. Vincent starts teaching Oliver about betting at the racetrack, and they win. But Vincent says they should pretend they lost to avoid a loan shark's attention. They go to the bank, and Vincent pays his debts and opens an account for his grandson. Then they celebrate with ice cream and jokes at the bar. Meanwhile, Maggie is worried about Oliver's fight and tries to call Vincent, but he's not there. He's at the bar with Oliver, having drinks. Oliver asks for more soda innocently, and Vincent accidentally breaks a glass, making the bartender angry. Maggie talks to Vincent outside their house, upset because she didn't know about the fight and has a busy job. Vincent explains simply, showing how hard their lives are. Maggie pays for the taxi and goes to Oliver's school to meet the principal and teacher. They ask about Oliver's family, especially his dad. Maggie honestly talks about her past, how her ex-husband wasn't faithful, and how she adopted Oliver. She fights for Oliver to stay at the school, despite her ex-husband wanting custody. Oliver and Robert end up cleaning toilets together as punishment for their fight. While working, they talk and become friends. Robert doesn't like being called Okinski by a teacher. Oliver shares about his family, how his dad isn't around, and how it hurts. They make peace, and Robert gives back Oliver's stuff, asking if his dad taught him to fight. Oliver jokes and says it was his babysitter who taught him. Vincent takes Sandy from the care home to the lake, trying to connect with her while she's sometimes clear-headed. But Vincent owes money to the home, and the manager pressures him to pay up. Vincent comes up with a plan to steal medicine to sell with Daka's reluctant help. But they don't make enough money, so Vincent is still in trouble. After losing money gambling, Vincent takes all of Oliver's savings and bets it, but he loses again. Vincent faces loan sharks who threaten him. To calm them down, Vincent gives them his wife's jewelry, but the stress makes him collapse. Oliver comes home from school and finds Vincent passed out. They rush him to Maggie's work, where he's diagnosed with a stroke. Now, Vincent has a long road to recovery ahead. On the other hand, at school, Oliver talks about saints, discussing who should be called the saint of the people. Outside Vincent's house, Daka tells Oliver that Vincent is in the hospital, but doesn't say much more to satisfy Maggie's curiosity. Vincent is struggling in rehab, getting frustrated and arguing with his caregivers. He doesn't want any more medical treatment. Maggie and Oliver aren't sure what to do next, but Daka's kindness with a treat from the vending machine helps a bit. Daka takes care of Vincent's house while Oliver helps him with his studies, forming a supportive bond. Vincent's friends also help him however they can. Oliver arranges for Vincent's pet cat, Felix, to visit him in the hospital, leading to a fun wheelchair race. When Vincent comes home, Daka has cleaned up the house and made him a healthy meal. She agrees to move in and take care of him for $15 a day, plus room and board. In court, the judge asks Maggie about Vincent's role in their lives. Maggie says Vincent is just a neighbor who sometimes babysits Oliver, unaware of what he does outside their home. But the judge shows pictures of Daka and Oliver together, surprising Maggie. Oliver quietly tells the judge that Daka is a woman who works at night, even shocking their lawyer. After the trial, Maggie talks to Oliver, feeling frustrated and confused about his involvement in horse racing, bars, and Daka's job. But Oliver sees value in each experience, learning math from betting on horses, understanding society from going to bars, and learning about biology and business from Daka. Maggie blames Vincent for their custody problems, but Vincent says it's her fault for relying on him to take care of Oliver when she couldn't. They argue, and Maggie leaves, saying Oliver won't go back. At home, Vincent gets messages from the care center about Sandy and realizes she's not doing well. He breaks down, and Daka helps him go to the care center, where they find out Sandy has passed away. Vincent struggles with her loss, holding her ashes as a sad reminder of her being gone. Vincent and Daka go to the beach to remember Sandy, finding comfort in the calmness of the shore. Meanwhile, Maggie picks up Oliver from school, followed by Imelda, a caregiver hired by Oliver's dad. Oliver now goes between Maggie and his dad's house, surprisingly accepting the change. He tells Maggie he knows about his dad cheating, which surprises her, but she says it's no secret because she talked about it on social media. In the backyard, Vincent sits quietly until Oliver comes over, given a moment by Imelda. Oliver learns about Sandy's death and offers condolences to Vincent, who struggles to understand. Vincent talks bitterly about his life and tells Oliver to make his own way, saying he's not a role model. Oliver, holding back tears, sees Vincent's complexity and wishes he could be happier. As Oliver leaves, Vincent, alone, tells Sandy he loves her and throws away reminders of her, including a photo from his time in Vietnam, which Oliver finds, adding to Vincent's mysterious past. At school, Brother Garrity tells the students about the upcoming Saints Among Us reports to be given on stage in 2 weeks. As they leave, he tells Okinski, also known as Robert, to use fewer unnecessary words in his speech. Oliver asks to call his friend by his real name, Robert. Meanwhile, at the baby shop, Daka and Vincent look at cribs. Vincent switches price tags so the mom-to-be can pick the one she wants. While Daka gets ready for motherhood, Oliver investigates Vincent McKenna's past, talking to people at the bar, looking at photos, asking Anna at the care center, and talking to Daka. They, along with Imelda and Robert, fix the fence near Vincent's house, and Oliver is happy when his dad picks him up from school, hinting at an important day ahead. As Oliver's presentation day gets closer, his mom takes a break from work to help him prepare and have breakfast together. They share love and enjoy the moment. Meanwhile, at Vincent's house, Daka's water breaks suddenly, and they rush to the hospital. At school, the Saints Among Us seminar starts, with Brother Garrity introducing the speakers, including Oliver, who arrives a bit late with Daka and Vincent. Vincent gets emotional seeing photos of his friends and Sandy, and Oliver gives a heartfelt speech defending Vincent's character, showing how much he means to him. Oliver introduces Vincent to everyone as Saint Vincent of Sheepshead Bay, and they all clap with emotion. Vincent, with tears in his eyes, goes on stage, deeply touched by the recognition. Daka, Anna, Oliver's parents, and Maggie watch, each feeling moved in their own way. Oliver puts a medal around Vincent's neck, and they hug as people clap, making it a special and big moment. At the hospital, Oliver tries to trick the vending machine like Daka taught him, but Vincent scolds him for stealing, so Oliver pays for his snack. Later, Vincent visits Daka in her room, where she proudly shows him her new baby girl. Back at Vincent's house, the family enjoys pasta together, chatting happily. When Oliver suggests saying a prayer before eating, Vincent hesitates but declines, focusing on his food instead. In the backyard, Vincent enjoys a quiet moment, listening to music with his headphones and smoking a cigarette. So the moral of the story is don't switch price tags at the baby shop. Karma has a funny way of coming back around,